So this time of year, people start thinking about their New Year's resolutions and what they're going to be doing in the new year. And I wanted to share a little bit about what I do to get me motivated for the new year. And it has to do with a certain individual. You might have heard about this guy. He's called Grant Cardone. He motivates the hell out of me, and I like to go through his quotes and see how I can apply some of his most famous quotes when I'm starting to plan for my new year, and also trying to think about what my mentality is going to be like for the new year. So let's get started. So the first quote that I'm going to cover today is never lower your target, increase your actions. So what does he mean by that? He means that if you've set a target for yourself to reach a certain maybe income by a certain date, don't be happy with, okay, maybe you don't make your target. I'll make that target a few months later, or maybe I'll do it next year. Don't do that, because what you're doing is you're pretty much allowing yourself to lose, right? You're allowing yourself to not win. You decided to have a goal, and you decided it was real, and you decided you can achieve that, and then saying, well, I'm just going to change the goal so it's easier, or so that I cut myself some slack. You're basically just saying that you're not strong enough to reach the goal. In a way, you're kind of saying, well, I can't make that goal, right? So that's why you don't change that. You don't change the goal. You increase your actions, right? So you do more. You try and do more to reach your goal. All right, so next quote that I've got here is, anyone that suggests to do less is either not a real friend or confused. So this is very interesting. You know, I'm sure you've had a friend or someone tell you at some point, oh, you know, you got to live a little, you got to relax, or take it easy, you've been working too hard, or something like this. Maybe it's your spouse telling you, hey, you need to relax a bit more, take it easy, take more vacations, etc. Now, I not want to say that you should just be working 24/7 all the time, right? That obviously isn't healthy either. But if you are in a situation where you're not making enough money, you're not selling enough of your product or service, you're not reaching your goals, to then take off time just doesn't make any sense, right? So if you know personally you're not achieving what you should be achieving, and you then take a holiday or don't work, that's not good, because you're preventing yourself from achieving your goal, right? Unless you figured out how to achieve that goal while not working, then obviously fine. But I'm willing to bet that that's usually not the case. And anyone who is constantly around you and saying things like, take it easy, take a break, don't do so much work, etc., they are not your friend, right? There are people around who are not productive themselves, and they want to make others less productive too, so that they don't feel so bad about themselves not being productive. So any person like that, be aware you don't want them in your space. So next quote I've got here, obscurity is a bigger problem than money. So this basically means obscurity is, he means here, your lack of being known to the public out there, to people who can buy your services or products. So that is a bigger problem than not having enough money, because that is actually the problem. That's what leads to you having money. And if you are well known, creating money is very easy. I'm sure you've seen examples of people who are so well known, they launch a product, they got massive following, and it just takes off like that, right? There's almost no effort involved. They just get a successful product or launch going. They get a result really easily because they're so well known. So that's why marketing is very important. You got to promote, you got to be pushing, you got to be not just doing one or two forms of marketing. You got to be outflowing communication as much as possible to any area that you can where your public might be. All right, next quote. Do what others refuse to do. So this you can apply in various different ways. What I like to do is over times like this, like Christmas period, or it's now between New Year's Eve and just after Christmas, it's kind of like a weird time where a lot of people take off and they don't work and they take it easy. So even though I do have some downtime and I relax, I like to also work as well at the same time. I like to put in some time working, and what I like to especially do this time of year is to start thinking about my goals and what I want to do for the next year. Like I would write down all my goals at night. I would have a lot of attention on creating my year to come and thinking about all the great things that I want to accomplish and do and how I'm going to do it, and even start creating a bit of a plan to work towards that. I can tell you that if you just did that one thing, right? If you forgot everything else that I told you in this little video, but you just started planning for the new year and you wrote down a plan and you started actioning that plan, you will have a way better year than you've probably had in quite a number of years, right? If you just did that, I promise you will thank me next year. The end of next year, you'll look back and you'll say, wow, I can't believe how much I got done and how much happened. And I can tell you that is the most successful thing that I do every year. No one is going to come to your house and make your dreams come true. I love that one. I don't know anyone who's ever come to anyone's house unless it's like some random show on TV or something, which a lot of the times is very scripted. And I believe these shows, they obviously have, it's a good thing, they're doing a charitable thing, but I think in a lot of people's minds it creates this idea that someone is going to come save them. And it's also a problem in society right now, you know. When people vote at the election, they expect the candidates to be solving all life's problems for them, instead of solving the majority of their problems themselves. Yes, there are some problems we can't maybe directly influence or handle or solve on our own, but that doesn't mean we can't do it as groups, right? Doesn't mean that you can't create a group that could maybe solve that problem. But don't expect the government, the president, an actor, some home improvement show and change your life and make your dreams come true. It's not going to happen. You can't even expect your friends to do that because they have their own lives, their own dreams that they're pushing and trying to get to and make into a reality. So you got to do that for yourself. No one else is going to do that for you. So this is a good time of year to think about at least what your dreams are, write them down, figure out what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. Then at least you know what you're working towards. You sleep like you're rich. I'm up like I'm broke. So I try and apply this all the time. Even when I have really good periods, you know, where I'm making good money, I tend to take that money and I just park it, or I pay it towards some goal, or I put it out of my reach so that I constantly feel like I don't have a lot of money and I need to be pushing harder and I need to be doing more. I need to be promoting more and just be creating on my business a lot more. And it tends to help a lot, right? It helps me to keep me motivated, keeps me pushing harder, because it's easy to become complacent when you have lots of money in the bank and it's just sitting there. And I always find that money just ends up disappearing and being spent on useless things. So yeah, I definitely try and apply that. All right, and the last quote, you'll never be admired without being criticized first. So what he means is, if you're promoting yourself and you're putting yourself out there, right, you're gonna get some criticism. And if you're not getting criticism, you're probably not doing it on the orders of magnitude required to really get attention. So, you know, we all have these inner fears of, we're trying to avoid criticism a lot of the time. We're trying to avoid feeling criticized or being judged, for example. And that can stop us from doing certain things. It can stop you from doing the promotion that you really should be. Maybe it stops you from creating that YouTube channel you always wanted to. Or maybe it stops you from running the ads that you wanted to run. Or maybe it just stops you from reaching out to other partners and trying to create a partnership with them. Those thoughts, those fears about rejection and criticism, they will just stop you. So what you got to do is push through all of that and just know that, yeah, sure, you might get some of that. You might get some rejection, you might get some criticism along the way, but no one is going to admire you if you don't push through all of that and keep going and keep promoting and keep growing, because it's at a certain point you're going to start being admired for everything that you're doing and promoting and putting out there. Not by the same people necessarily, but the admiration is going to start coming in from the people who are good people who see what you're doing is good, right? And I believe that most businesses were started because the entrepreneur had an idea of how he could help others, he could help other people, and through his products and services he's trying to help. And you putting that out there and then getting criticism from people, those people criticizing you, one thing you know for sure is that they don't want to help people. They would rather people didn't get help and people were all in a bad state, etc. There are people like that, and if you keep going, you'll start getting the admiration that you deserve from those who do believe that people should be helped, who do want to help their fellow man, and you should just keep pushing and going. That's why, no matter what I'm doing, I'm always trying to get a video out. I might not do it every single week, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep doing this activity until I start getting what I need from it, right? And even then, I'm not going to stop either. I'm probably going to do more, but this is just one example of how I'm applying this, right? I'm just going to keep promoting and putting myself out there, even when things are really hectic and I have very little time. I really have to put my attention on other things. I will still be doing this activity. I'll still be promoting. I'll still be marketing. I'll still be putting myself out there, because I know it's the only way that I can grow my business and make my dreams come true in the end. All right, so I hope this was really helpful for you and inspiring, and you can take some of this away and use it in the new year in 2025. And I hope that you write down your goals, create a plan, get going on that plan, and feel very much inspired, and that you have a very successful new year. All right, everyone. Till next year. Happy New Year. Bye for now.